To many, the North Sea is a vast cold stretch of water, rich in oil and fish stocks, and across which the Vikings came to raid Lindisfarne in the year 793. However, to archaeologists, the North Sea is far more. This is a part of the North Sea called Dogger's Bank. If one draws a straight line from Calais to Bergen, Dogger's Bank is clearly very close to the surface of the sea. In 1931, the trawler Colinda hauled up a lump of peat while fishing 25 miles east of Norfolk. The deep-sea fishing techniques had literally scraped the sea floor, and in amongst the peat was found to be a barbed antler point. Roughly 4 to 10,000 years old, this point had once been on the tip of a spear. This find had immense implications, and it was proposed that during the last ice age, seawater had been locked up in glaciers, exposing this high patch of ground, which came to be known as Doggerland, after Dogger's Bank. The end of the last ice age was an extremely lush period, known to archaeologists as the Mesolithic. The barbed antler point from 1931 is a common find from this period, and was most probably part of a fishing spear for use on the coast. However, a more common diagnostic tool type from this period is the microlith, a small stone which can be very quickly configured onto, say, an arrowhead or a spear, depending on what type of animal you want to hunt on a given day. Many human groups in northern Europe at this time lived an extremely seasonal lifestyle, down by the sea in the winter and living up in the hills in the summer. In this way, they were always close to readily available sources of food, and Doggerland would not have disappointed with animals like red deer and roe deer. The forest would have sustained wild boar and the extremely powerful ancient form of cattle, the aurochs. A lush and wild landscape once existed where now the North Sea lies, and fishing trawlers have even dredged up the remains of lions and mammoth that once roamed the tundra-like landscape. Everywhere they looked, Mesolithic people found sources of food. In the sky, at certain times of year, migratory birds, similar to the Canadian goose, could be readily hunted. Compared to their ancestors in the Ice Age, the people of the Mesolithic found the landscape humming with new fruits and fresh tastes. The coastline of Doggerland would also have provided animals such as seal, whose meat can be eaten and whose blubber can be used for lamps. Seabirds would have been readily available, such as the puffin, and great mounds or middens of shells from seafood feasts on the coast would have built up. Such middens can still be found on the coast of Denmark and also of Scotland. In summary, where the North Sea now lies, there was once the most rich and diverse landscape in all of northern Europe, which we now call Doggerland. The question is, what happened to this remarkable place and the people who lived there? It is believed that around 6000 BC, a tsunami and a general trend of rising sea levels engulfed Doggerland, and eventually left us with what we now know as the North Sea. The people of Doggerland would have retreated into Europe, into Britain, and into Scandinavia. Rather pleasingly, much to the disappointment of staunch Eurosceptics and their belief in an island nation, archaeology reveals that a little over 8,000 years ago it was possible to walk to Europe and keep your feet relatively dry. And not only this, but our ancestors thrived in what we now consider to be under the sea.